Cowboys Training Camp coverage is powered by AA Best Bail Bonds and Jason Thompson, the Thompson Law Firm.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio in the O'Reilly Auto Parts mobile studios. We are at Dallas Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Now joined by linebacker Sean Lee. Appreciate you taking the time. Gotta ask, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good. Rehabbing hard. The knee is coming around really well. It's obviously frustrating not being out there with the guys on the field, but like I said, I got a small role in this team. I'm blessed to have it, and I'm going to try to maximize it.
And the small role is, can you elaborate what you're doing and how are you helping these teams?
Well, in the meeting rooms, for me, going through a year mentally is just going to help me become a better football player and learn more football. So I'm in every meeting, trying to help the young guys. With some of the experience I have, I think I can make a couple pointers here and there that might be able to help them, whether it's how to study, how I study to retain things, certain techniques that have helped me in the past. Anything I could do to try to tell them a couple things to help the transition for them to go a little bit faster.
And the fact that you're out here at training camp, I know you can't go out on the field, which is for your safety, right?
Well, yeah, I can't. I'm not moving around well enough to probably get out of the way if something comes my way. But more for me during practice, I'm rehabbing. Between the meetings, I'm rehabbing, so I have a schedule that I really have to keep up with during the day, and most of the time during practice, I'm rehabbing. So that's another part why I'm not out there.
So how many hours do you rehab daily?
We're probably doing 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and different, and some of it's tedious stuff like range of motion, stretching,
flexing the quad.
Yeah, getting the quad. And anybody who's been through it, your quad. Your joint, you get a new ACL, it swells up, your quad atrophies, and you have to teach it how to work again. You have to get it strong again, you have to get the fluid out, you have to get the range of motion back. So it's a long process, and you do it 100 exercises a day, and you improve barely any, but you improve just a little bit, and it takes a long time.
And I always ask this, let's go to the football room. You're teaching these young players, and I'm always curious, how do you see when you watch a film? When you look at the film, do you scan the formation, and then you look at the split of the lineman and the depth of the back? Can you take us through that as a linebacker, what you see? Because we hear as fans sometimes watch you play, and we're like, oh my, how did he get to that point so fast, or get to the point, get to the ball before the offense even get there?
I tell a lot of young guys, before you're able to anticipate and see those little keys that can maybe get you to the play first, you have to learn the defense inside and out. You have to be comfortable with your alignment, what your original key is, and know what your job is from a run and pass standpoint. If you don't have that completely locked in, and you're a little bit insecure before the play where to line up, then you don't have the time to kind of relax and see the depth of the back. If he's a little bit deeper, we're thinking run. If he's a little bit tighter, we're thinking pass. If quarterback's under center and he's tight, it's either trap or three-step. Different things. And that's not always true. I'm not saying those keys, but there's different keys.
That is correct, though.
Yeah, and a lot of times those keys
allows you to anticipate.
Yes, it does. But the point is, a lot of those young guys, they can't do it until they know the defense and line up right. So just constant study of your playbook and film, you have to do that first. And then whenever you get some experience, then you can start to anticipate, oh, this is how they attack this defense. And in this formation, they can do that. And that's when you get to play faster. Is when you really can put those all together.
Sean Lee with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, and see, Dad likes that because Dad's that way. I call him the Terminator. We'll go out here and they'll break the huddle, and he'll tell me what the play is, and it happens because he reads it so fast, and he tells me all the time. That's what you do.
They can only do. They
can do so much. They can do so much. Yeah.
They can only do so much, and especially teams attack you. Every defense has a weakness. Teams know what those weaknesses are. They're going to attack them. They're going to do it different ways. They're going to come out different ways.
Window dressing.
But they'll move around, they'll motion, but there's really only so many things they can do. And then a team does things that they like to do, but they do well. So they're not going to, sometimes they'll take a play that was successful in your last week and use it. Sometimes you know what they like to do. They have a couple core plays. They'll move around to get to them, which if you study enough, if you study what they're trying to do, it helps.
Yeah, it's funny because when you two get together, and like last year, and I've told people, you guys might as well be speaking a different language because when you start talking linebacker, I'm like, I know football, I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's like anything. The more you're in it, the more the intricacies you kind of understand. It's like anything. Like to me, I took accounting in college. That was foreign language to me.
Really?
Yeah, football came pretty naturally, but accounting not so much.
And as a linebacker, we always talk about, this guy's got to run run stopper. He's such a player. But for you, you've been so unique because you're such a great player in the passing game. What made you become the passing? I don't know, you have, 12 sacks already in your career, in which we saw Derek Brooks, who was in the Hall of Fame, had 24. So you're halfway there, and he had a great career. And for you, what is one thing that sticks out for you in the passing game that has helped you get those interceptions?
I think when I was young, I played safety in high school, which you only learn so much in high school, and I think understanding route concepts and really trying to understand. As a linebacker now, you have to play in space. The game has become a high percentage of nickel, third down, and you have to be able to play in space. And that's something since college I've always prided myself. Yeah, I'm going to stop the run, but I'm also going to be able to stop the pass and blitz well. And that's what, as a linebacker, you got to stop the run, stop the pass, and blitz well if you want to play and be around in all three downs. So I've focused on that for years, back in college and high school. And it's really what the quarterback likes to do: route combinations, good feet, fundamentals in it, but also understanding what an offense likes to do and how to take it away and how to get in windows.
2007 Valero Alamo Bowl defensive MVP Sean Lee here on 1250 ESPN. You remember that?
I do.
You're surprised I remembered that because you beat his
Aggies.
Aggies.
We put it on Texas A&M. Yeah. No, just
Yeah,
it was a close game.
That was
when Jabari Kim was there. It was a shutout.
Yeah, we stumped them on a fourth down on the goal line. They ran option early in the game, and then we made an adjustment and came back and stopped them on an option. Steve McGee, we had a linebacker did a good job, got to the pitch. Steve went to pitch it, and then he saw he couldn't do it, and then he tried to turn it up and slipped. And we won the game.
You won the game?
Yep.
Who was that linebacker?
It wasn't me.
No?
It was a guy. It was a guy named Bonnie Baju. I don't think he's playing now. Good guy, good teammate up at Penn State. But it was a good adjustment we made. It was Tom Bradley and a guy named Ron Vanderlyn.
And talking about linebackers, there's a deal coming out. Penn State is known for linebacker U, right? It's A&M is known for a linebacker South. Was that the decision why you went to Penn State? I know you were a safety, but you knew you were going to be a linebacker eventually. Yeah. Was that one of the reasons why you went there? Because there's so much tradition, so much history in that position.
When I had heard about the history, and then I went to a game, and they had not been very good in probably 3 or 4 years. They had won the most 5 games in the last 4 or 5 years, and I went there and I saw a guy named Paul Posluszny.
Yes, good play. Yes.
I saw a guy named Dan Connor.
He was here with us.
He was here with us, and I felt like I was similar to those guys. And then the fact that there was 100,000 people in the stadium, and they were 3-9. They weren't very good, and the student section was still crazy. And I knew if I could go there and the team could be pretty good, it could be a great experience. And school was fun, and it ended up being a fantastic experience.
Being a Pennsylvania kid, though, was that your dream to always go to Penn State?
When I was young, I wanted to play basketball, and I wanted to go to Pitt, to be honest with you. When Ben Howland was there, and they became pretty good in the early 2000s. Yeah. And then I found out that I wasn't going to go there. I learned about sophomore year of high school. I'm like, I should stick to football. So then I went up there, and it seemed like it was the right fit, and I enjoyed it very much.
Sean Lee with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
So how much do you still keep up with Penn State?
I watch them a lot. What they were able to do team-wise, obviously what happened up there was horrible, and hopefully justice will continue to get done, and nothing like that will ever happen again up there. And that's the first and foremost. But the team, it was a tough time for the team, and a lot of those guys who had nothing to do with that situation had to deal with tough situation, and the team guys were able to leave. The guys who stayed represented the university in an unbelievable way. Coach O'Brien did an unbelievable job while he was there, and it was fun to watch them do that. And I take a lot of pride in those teams because they handled themselves really well.
Sean Lee on 1250 ESPN. We got about a minute left in the show. This training camp very different for you. This season is going to be very tough on you, but you've been coaching up these guys. Who are some of these linebackers that you say, watch out for this guy?
Well, Justin Durant's a guy who has he's a veteran, he's a guy who played well in other places. And last year when he was in and healthy, he made plays and was able to do a good job for us. I think that's a guy, if you watch him now, he's playing really, really well for us. He's quick, he's athletic, he has instincts, he's done a really good job. And then Bruce Carter's a guy who has made a lot of plays and is a great athlete, who Last year, obviously, the whole defense had trouble transitioning, but I think he's on the way to having a great year and making a lot of plays for us.
Good stuff. Sean, appreciate you spending some time with us. Get well soon, man. We all want to see you back out there on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put the work in, and hopefully next year this time we'll talk about me being back on the field.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Have a good night, everybody. From Dallas Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard on 1250 ESPN San Antonio.